Hey guys, it's me, my wet head, and a few things to show you. Today's happy dance is brought to us by sparkly water and ice, because it's that kind of day. But it is in the Ouija cup, and we don't go wrong with the Ouija cup. If you're new here, my name is Andrea, and this is a channel about cross stitch and any other thing that falls out of my face. If you're a returning visitor, welcome back. Andrea, it's been months and months and months and months. Why haven't you It's not like I have a single excuse. I didn't just start working Sundays or something like that. A lot of times I would sit down and say, do I want to make a video or do I want to stitch? And the stitching would win. And sometimes I would say, do I want to make a video or do I want to stare blankly into the abyss? That happened a lot too. The good news is that fairly recently I have pulled myself somewhat together and I managed to have 3 finishes. I'm going to call it 2.5 finishes. And I worked on a very old WIP. So I thought I would show y'all what I've been up to. I actually have notes and things, and I'm going to try to use them. I don't make any guarantees, but I'm going to try to use them. So the WIP that I pulled out of the darkness of the bin is actually Templar Prophecy. I know. I have not worked on this in, I believe, over a year. And it's been sitting in the Q-snap that long. I know. If I take it out of the Q-snap, I just know that I will never... I leave it in the Q-snap because it needs to be easy for when I do want to work on it. So here's what I did. I looked up what I did. I know. This is what I have added since we last saw it. I finished this flower here, and I extended the canopy, and I started the swan. And I got hung up on the swan, and I will try to put some pictures that make sense, you know. There's a swan, and his body kind of merges with a pennant or a flag that a knight is carrying. And I know I want the swan to be black, but I know I want the pennant to be either green or red. So I have to kind of take the chart and rechart it and decide what is part of the swan and what is part of the banner. Andrea, this is why you never get anything done. This is why. But I don't want it to look like a straight line, and I don't want a green swan, and I don't want a red swan. So yeah, that's where I kind of looked at it last night and said, all right, maybe next year. I am still at least holding up hope that I finish this within the next 5 years. Because I am picking that 2 out. The aliens will have taken us by then anyway. We're not going to worry about it. I, for one, welcome our galactic overlords. They can't be any worse than Congress. This is actually a finish that I finished twice, kind of. The first time I finished it, which was months ago, it matched the pattern in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. And I didn't really think twice about it until I went to show it as a finish and realized that half the flower was not on the pattern. It was in the image of it, but it was not on the pattern. So then I went looking and I found the addendum and I found, the update. And so now I have refinished Jack. This is from Teresa Miller. And we are doing this, or we did this, 1/1 on 32 count. Because Andrea has esteem issues? I don't know. But I did it, and it's adorable, and I'm happy with it, and the flower is finished. So, what more could you ask for? This was snug. On 32, 1/1 was snug with the floss. So, I would like to try something thinner. Here's a question. I know that thin silk exists, the Swassofine and the 103s. But I don't want to invest a billion silks just so that I can indulge my 1/1 obsession. Is there a thinner cotton floss that's just thinner than your regular DMC? Let me know what you know. Share your information. Thanks. The next is a very recent finish. I am probably the last person to be announcing that the primitive needle is back. And Mariah, who is Lisa's daughter, is digitizing all the patterns, and she's doing an amazing job. She has a great website, very easy to shop. I've already had 2 orders, and then I've got 4 more things in my cart right now that I am buckling down on myself not to buy yet. Maybe tomorrow. Anyway, this is the Earth Sampler, and it is from the Primitive Needle. And I downloaded it, and it was legal and everything. It was amazing. It was wonderful. I never felt so clean. And I love it. I will say, though, and she notes this, I believe, on all the patterns, that, you know, colors have changed since this was charted and stitched the first time. And I'm going to tell you, my, I think this is the pomegranate, and this is the blue coat red. Yeah. Or vice versa. Those are mine are a lot redder, a lot pinker than what's in the model on the cover. But I don't see it as a problem. I didn't feel the need to change colors or anything like that. I just rolled with it, and I think I had, I used all the called for. This is on 40 count vintage country mocha linen. And as opposed to what? Is there 40 count? There's no 40 count Ada. It's 20 count. Stop talking, Andrea. Anyway, I finished it. I had a challenge. And now we were just talking about thread that is thinner than 1 strand of cotton. It's DMC, whichever's. I got it in my head, because that's where all the best things come from, that I was going to chart my initials and the year in like 1/1. Do it 1/1 on this. 40 count. Right. After about 3 or 4 tries of it looking just absolutely awful, I picked it out one last time, and I did it again, and you can kind of see it here. It stands out because it's chunky. It's chunky. But I was afraid if I picked it out one more time, the linen was just going to go to hell. So I left it. But I went online, and I saw some people saying that when they do a signature like that, they use regular sewing thread, which I hadn't thought of. I wish I had thought of it. I think it would have looked better. I'm going to try it on the next thing that I sign. Who knows what that's going to be. But yeah, if you ever do teeny tiny little, again, let me know what's thin that's maybe not silk, or not silk money. I figure if it's just my signature, I don't really care if it goes. I more want it to blend. And I did find a lot of people suggesting or you know, showing that they do their signature in the color of their linen or their fabric so that it doesn't show, which I like, except I will forever be hunting around saying, did I sign this one? Did I? When did I do this? The signatures are maybe a bit for me. That said, I do have a spool of, I believe it's Swastika in my 1, 2, 3 cart, but only because I haven't been over to Stitch New England to see if she also has it. Because I figure that is, I mean, if Nicola is using that 1/1 on 56 count, it's got to be fine 1/1 on 40, especially just for a signature. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. The next thing I'm going to show, only because I am not sure if I showed you, I actually purchased this pattern off of eBay. And this is Spooky Sampler. Hallow Sampler. Andrea, you can look it up. You've got the information right there. Hallow Sampler. This is also primitive needle. But I worked off of a paper pattern that I purchased before she started sending them out. I had to double check. I did win this one on eBay. I wasn't sure. It came out perfect. I love it. I made a few substitutions for colors, but nothing important. I changed the color of the witch because I'm not a big fan of green witches. But other than that, it is exactly what I want. So now my thing is, this is on 40 count something. This is on 40 count Fabric Flare Desert Dyed Effect. And this is on the 40 count Vintage Country Mocha. So at least they're both 40 counts. So I think they're going to look really good. Excuse me, hung together, like hung in a row, because I also have the Voodoo Sampler, which I am wrestling with myself a little as to whether I want to do it, but I will deal with that. And I believe there is a Christmas or a holiday sampler, or so. Anyway, I want to do all the samplers. I want to do all the samplers, and then I want them to all hang together and be friends. So the last thing I worked on is another finish. This is Angel Woodcut number 2 by ShadowHouseStitchery. I put this together and the companion angel ages ago, and I finally got them to a place that I liked how they looked in the pattern. But they're big. And so I hadn't really thought of stitching them, or I wasn't going to stitch them very quickly. But I decided that I really did want like a stitched model, just to show that I'm not just scanning these things and trying to sell them. I put some thought into them. So this is my completed. She's a big girl, Angel number 2, Angel Woodcut. She came out so good. Like I knew it was going to be fine. I knew it was going to look good. But what I specifically said to myself is, get out of your comfort zone. Do not stitch her in black. Do not. Because I wanted to stitch her in my never-ending black silk from Silks for You. I did not. I picked a color that I normally would not have gone near. And I will tell you, I never, ever, ever want to buy another skein of 918. Ever. But she looks good. She looks good in 918. It made me think of it as maybe a little bit coppery, or maybe that it had been red and has now kind of muddied over the years. You know, I like something that looks like it's been through World War whatever. But yeah, I like her. I like her a lot. So that is currently available in the Etsy store. If I haven't told anybody lately, I have an Etsy store. So she is in there, and I'll have to get her at least ironed and laid out well so that I can take some good pictures of her, because I can't take good pictures of anything. If I go on one more site saying, you know, how to best photograph your needlework, and all they tell you is natural light. Well, light is not my problem. The fact is that I just can't line anything up. I just breathe. So I will work that out, and then I will have it framed so that I can hang up my shop model, and someday somebody might want it. I don't know. She's mine. Now her companion, Angel Woodcut #1, I'm going to do 1/1 on 28 count hand-dyed green, I'm going to say even weave, that was sent by my stitchy godmother, Laura. I don't know if I've ever mentioned, she made me a pillow and a doily and a tree of life and ornaments. She made me ornaments. I think there's more behind me that she made than me. Might have to work on that. Anyway, I'm going to be doing that 1/1 on the dark green fabric in, I haven't decided if it's going to be like ecru or maybe go a little yellower to make it more like an ivory, because I want to put that specifically up for like Christmas, and so I want people to be able to see that, you know, these look really nice big, they look nice they look nice for holiday, they hang it up in your house, do whatever you want with it. I'm actually also thinking of maybe adding a little not Krynic, but petite treasure braid, just to make a little Christmas sparkle in there. I said sparkle, deal with it. But I haven't decided that. I also don't know if I showed you, if you watched the last video, Andrea, you would know if you showed, I don't, hush. This is I call it a doodle bag. It is not a doodle bag, but this is a little bag that my sister Janet she was using up fabric, and you know, this is not her gig. This was fabric for me. So she was using up the last of that, and she was working on some hand quilting, and I am very happy to use her learning pieces because this is just the right size for what I had in there. Was the earth sampler. It was just the right size. It wasn't bulky. It doesn't take up too much space in the bin of shame over there. And I really like it. So I have Voodoo sampler kitted up and put in here. What am I going to do Voodoo on? Let's see. Looks like that stone dyed. Nope, desert dyed effect. So we will do that one. And then we'll just keep going. It's kind of like I have a Christmas bag, and it has all my Prairie Schooler Santas in it. Remember the Prairie Schooler Santa thing I was going to do? Whatever. So this may just end up being my primitive needle bag. And I like it. I made the little dingle-ding. There you go. I forget the name of this art piece. I will put it up. It's public domain. I know the reason, but a lot of times my parents would have to say to me, like, Andrea, you're thinking again. And that is what I feel like my face was when I was thinking. Nowadays, we know I was disassociating, but we're good. So now that I have these finishes, I feel like I deserve another new start. Not just the Voodoo sampler. That's getting started no matter what. But I want to pick a new one to kit up. Andrea, you already have a whole bunch kitted up? Yep. You want to do any of them? Nope. I want to do a small. I worked on that angel. My arm was hurting, the whole thing. Let me tell you. So I want to do a small. I need your help in choosing. So I'm going to show you 4 things on the screen. The first one is October 31st from Rovaris. I have had this kicking around for I don't know how long, and I would just like to do it and call it done. The next one is also from Rovaris. This is The Witch's Inn. And I always thought this would be very cute to hang like on my office door. And I like her finish with the little raggedy ends. And it's not something, I don't think I would have liked that finish when I first got the pattern. But now I do. So I'd like to do that. The next one is Autumn Blessings. This is a freebie from Plum Street Samplers. I love these bunnies. I did the bunnies. I did the Halloween bunnies last year, 2 years ago. Could be 3 years ago. That's how life is. Anyway, I didn't think about doing all the bunnies until Emily C. did her giveaway this year. And part of one of her fundraiser giveaways was like 6 or 7 of these bunny patterns. And I'm looking at them going, oh my God, I love them. Why aren't I stitching them? You have some of those. Go to Either way. It's a small and I'm putting it in the running. And the last one is Little Tree. This is also a freebie from La Di Da. It's little. I can stitch from stash. I don't have to think about colors very much. Instantly, I say to myself, that's going to be a 1/1. I have a couple of other of their freebies. Do I have? I don't think I have it hang. Oh, I think I do. This up here is a Plum Street freebie that I did 1/1, and it came out adorable. So those are the 4 choices. So either throw a number or throw the name of the pattern, and I will tally them up after about a week and see what it is I'm going to start. And I'm saying it out loud to the universe, we're manifesting. I will put what I chose in an Instagram post. Because I can do Instagram. I know I can. Generally I'm in bed and half asleep before I realize I did not Insta. So I just have to get back into the habit. Other than that, there's not a whole lot going on. A couple of weekends ago, my youngest nephew got married, so that was fun. I've been to see AC/DC recently. That was a great show. They have not slowed down a bit. I am still working from home and I love it. I have now embraced my indoor lifestyle, and the new mantra, which also will be part of a pattern at some point, is build a nest, not a cage. I've been nesting. So I'm working on making this space and the rest of the house more comfy and just more of a place that I want to be and don't mind being all day long. I am also obsessed with the Karen Reed trial, season 2. I have so many opinions. And they're all like, there's nothing new from the last new thing that came out like last week. And so I never feel like I want to do a video talking about it, because all I'm going to do is rehash everything that everybody's already talked about. And I watch Emily Baker do the live broadcast. Like she watches the live stream with us, and then she pauses and, as a lawyer, explains what the heck it is we're seeing and why this is important and why this is not good and why Brennan needs to sit down. I have opinions, so many of them. I am local to Canton. The company that I work for, my office, used to be in Canton, and I live maybe 20 minutes away. 15 if nobody is watching me drive. And personally, I have never had any issues in Canton. I would never have thought it was this hotbed of drama and trauma and I use the word incestuous only because it's like everybody is related somehow to somebody else. It's like Rhode Island. It's like Rhode Island. I'm waiting any minute to find out if I'm related to these people, because everybody seems to be. By blood or by marriage, everybody is related to these people. And not just related, but involved with them. I'm related to a lot of people that I am not involved with. So I don't claim them. These people claim each other. Anyway. So if anybody has some thoughts about Karen Reed or just wants to hear somebody say, I agree too, go ahead and throw that in the comments. I know, you know me with the comments. After about a week, they cease to exist. Yeah. That is about all that's going on. We have no new alien disclosures, nothing, no aliens landing in Central Park. But, as always, next week. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for your likes, and even your dislikes. But thank you especially for the comments. I read them all, and I appreciate them all. And part of my working on me is being the kind of person that can go back and respond to comments and understand that nobody is looking for a novel to come from me. Nobody is looking for 6 paragraphs on something they said. I can put a heart, I can say thanks, and I can move on. Andrea, you can. Thank you for being my community. Bye, guys.